Warm welcome to TV Africa News and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najuma Lima, but first are the headlines. Museveni meets Kenyan delegation on peace in Great Lakes region. IRA to raise public awareness through inaugural Insurance Week. Egyptian female judge joins the state council. Okwi Mia return as Metro names Uganda Cranes provisional team. A young man stayed for debut. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has met with Kenyan delegation led by the former Vice President Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka at State House Entebbe for consultations on the peace process in the Great Lakes region. We have more. During the meeting, Museveni called for unity as the foundation of peace, but also called for patriotism as the basis for building strong armies. Museveni said that during the war against Idi Amin, the freedom fighters were not paid, but they managed to work well, and called upon the delegation to desist from building the army with money, but rather use freedom fighters to build the army. On his part, Musyoka appreciated Museveni's advice and requested for another meeting to iron out details of the discussions. He further commended the Ugandan president for fighting poverty. Other dignitaries present at the meeting were Senator Gideon Moi, the High Commissioner of Kenya to Uganda, Ambassador Kenneth Mokaya, Uganda's Minister for Foreign Affairs, General J.J. Odong, Honorable Betty Bigombe, and the Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Arthur Kafero. Doctors under the umbrella Uganda Medical Association have asked the Health Monitoring Unit not to only focus their investigation on Mulago Hospital regarding the allegation of corruption, but also the health departments in the country. The remarks were made during a press briefing held in Kampala to point out different areas they think should also be critically investigated in the health sector.
The remarks followed the arrest of Mulago National Referral Hospital Executive Director Dr. Byarugaba Baterana on allegations of corruption that could have seen 28.8 billion shillings meant for running health affairs at Mulago disappear. Baterana was arrested on Tuesday as the Health Monitoring Unit investigates what authorities said was mismanagement of the National Referral Hospital. Speaking to the media in Kampala, Uganda Medical Association President Oledo Samuel Odong said the arrest of Baterana was just the tip of the iceberg, adding that there is more rot in the health sector and should be extensively investigated. He asked the Health Monitoring Unit to expedite investigations in the $50 million allocated for the harmonization and standardization health services at Mulago Hospital 5 years back, but up to today the situation remains unchanged.
So the question is, why isn't Mulago complete up to now? Yet this money was released, over $50 million, and this is the money for the taxpayer. So we are saying the people who are responsible for completion, please, it is long overdue. We cannot allow this to continue when even utilities are not available in the hospital.
He revealed that Mulago receives over 62 billion shillings annually for the day-to-day operations, but it is absurd that utilities are wanting and necessities are not harmonized.
We are saying these eventualities must stop. The reason why we went for industrial action is to make sure that these things stop. So as doctors, we push for professionalism and ethical code. And when we talk about professionalism, we rebuke any form of misappropriation of funds. Totally. So in that regard, we are saying these eventualities must stop. We can't entertain them anymore. In that regard,
Dr. Joe Mirembe from the Uganda Medical Association expressed his discontent with the Health Service Commission for failing to recruit health staff, leaving over 3,000 vacancies. This, he explained, could be because of the bribe seeking embedded in the commission, hence failure to fill these spaces.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda has launched the inaugural Insurance Week, an event that seeks to take insurance information closer to the people so as to enable people make informed buying decisions and increase the uptake of insurance services. Let's take a look.
Speaking at a media briefing at Golf Course Hotel, the ERA Chief Executive Officer Alhaj Kadunabi Ibrahim Lubega said that the week-long event is dedicated to raising awareness of the importance of insurance and risk management in Uganda. Kadunabi said this week-long event, which starts March 7th to 11th, 2022, has been dedicated to sensitize the public about the relevance of insurance to caution them, their loved ones and property in case of unforeseen disasters. Alhaj Kadunabi noted that while insurance remains an important service that is critical for medium to long-term success of individuals, households and businesses, awareness deficiencies continue to keep many out of the consumption loop of this important service. He revealed that through the annual Insurance Week, ERA will take insurance closer to the people. The Insurance Week is organized under the theme Understanding the Need for Insurance. During the week, the public will benefit from a free medical camp at the Rail Grounds in Kampala, where ERA and partners will be offering free medical services, including HIV testing and counseling services, hepatitis B testing, testing for blood sugars for people aged 30 years and above, blood pressure and typhoid testing and treatment, among others.
Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. Egyptian female judge Radwa Helmi was appointed by the State Council at top court in Egypt. The appointment follows a decision by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi last year to allow women to join the council, one of Egypt's main judicial bodies.
According to Rin Musa, another female judge, yesterday was a historic day for all Egyptian women and for the Egyptian judiciary in general, as the president of the State Council decided yesterday to start allowing the attendance of the new female judges appointed last year to join the council. Admitted Judge Maha Tantawi said that it was a mixed feeling of pride, fear and immense responsibility that they now bear along with their colleagues. The announcement was made on Saturday ahead of International Women's Day, celebrated on March 8th. For other female judges, the president's decision is a step in the right direction in the fight against social prejudice. Judge Yasmin Helmi added that the social debate revolving around females assuming judge positions is not related to the job itself, but rather to the social and cultural awareness in that period and people not accepting women on the judges' bench or even working within the judiciary. Women currently hold about a quarter of cabinet posts and some 168 posts in the 569-member parliament.
Moving on, the new head of state of Burkina Faso, Lieutenant Colonel Damiba, announced a new government on Saturday, saying it will lead the country during a 3-year transition period. The new executive consists of 25 ministers, including 6 women. The new transitional leader took power at the end of January after overthrowing elected President Roch Marc Christian Kabore, accused of ineffectiveness in the face of jihadist violence that plagues the country. Speaking on Saturday, Damiba made the fight against jihadism and the rebuilding of the state as his priority. Following the military coup, ECOWAS announced the suspension of Burkina Faso from the regional body. The new Burkinabe leader set a transition period of 3 years for a return to constitutional order and free elections. Away from that, Catholic bishops in Malawi have slammed what they describe as political bickering in the government led by President Lazarus Chakwera. In a pastoral letter signed by 7 bishops and read out Sunday in celebration of Lent, the bishops urged the Tonse Alliance parties to draw up joint programs of action for the remainder of the government term. In the letter, the bishops were particularly critical of the slow decision-making of President Chakwera, while also appealing for concrete action in the fight against corruption. According to the bishops, Malawi lacks a legal framework for coalition governments, and one is needed in order to fulfill electoral promises and increase accountability. President Chakwera was elected in 2020. Let's once again take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, the Equatorial Guinean authorities have compensated 84 families of victims of the explosions of March 7th, 2021 in a military camp in Bata that had killed 107 people and injured 615, announced Saturday the state television.
On March 7th, 2021, 4 explosions had literally devastated the Nkoa Ndoma camp in Bata, the economic capital, and many neighboring residential areas after a fire caused by a poorly controlled burning had set fire to the arsenal and the armory of the military hold. Teodoro Ngwema, nicknamed Todrin, vice president of the Central African country and son of the head of state, presided over the handover ceremony. Each family received 8 million CFA francs, about 12,000 euros. People who were amputated as a result of the disaster received 4 million CFA francs, about 6,000 euros. The government of Equatorial Guinea has released 700 million CFA francs to compensate the victims. According to the state television station TVGE, the city of Bata is home to about 800,000 of the 1.4 million inhabitants of this small state rich in oil and gas, but where the vast majority of the population lives below the poverty line. Teodoro Obiang Nguema, 79, has ruled this small Central African country with an iron fist for over 42 years. In a statement issued the day after the disaster, he explained that Bata was the victim of an accident caused by the negligence of the unit in charge of guarding the dynamic depots. 2 soldiers were sentenced in July 2021 to 35 and 50 years in prison for negligence.
In our health news today, the COVID-19 pandemic has continued its strong decline in the world this week, with contaminations disseminating everywhere except in Asia and Oceania. Here are the most important weekly developments taken from an AFP database. As an important indicator, the number of diagnosed cases only reflects a fraction of the real number of contaminations, and comparisons between countries should be taken with caution as testing policies differ greatly from one country to another. For country statistics, the analysis is limited to countries with a population of at least 500,000 and an incidence rate of more than 50 weekly cases per 100,000 population. With 1.47 million infections recorded each day worldwide, the indicator is clearly decreasing for the 5th consecutive week, with minus 12% compared to the previous week, according to media report as of Thursday. Daily infections have been more than halved since their peak in late January, which recorded 3.37 million daily cases. This week, only Asia and Oceania are seeing their situation deteriorate, with respectively 25% and 72% more contaminations compared to the previous week. In our sports news, the Uganda Cranes head coach Milton Michos Ledejovic has named 35 players on the provisional team ahead of the upcoming Four Nation mini tournament in Uzbekistan. We have more. Team captain Emmanuel Arnold Okwi, now with Chiovu Sports in Rwanda, and Farouk Mia have returned after missing out in the recent past for different reasons. The other returnees also include Alan Chambade, Alan Okello, and others. Soltilo Bright Stars midfielder Marvin Youngman is set for his senior debut after the maiden summon on the team that has under 20 graduates as Steven Serada, Derek Akoza, Najib Yiga, Bobos Biarhanga, goalkeeper Jacko Makech, and others. Uganda will play in a four-nation mini tournament in Uzbekistan between 25th to 29th March in Makazi Stadium, Namangan City against Tajikistan hosts Uzbekistan and the Kyrgyz Republic. Mitchell, as quoted by the FIFA website, disclosed that the upcoming mini tournament in Uzbekistan will help them to do the main general checkup before the AFCON 2023 qualifiers in June 2022. He added that they have been in transition where several players have retired, including Captain Dennis Onyango, Hassan Waswa, Mike Azira Juko, and others. The summoned team has a total of 35 players, a bulk of whom 20 are locally based, plying their trade in the Uganda Premier League. That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned. More programming coming your way.